Revolved head to knee pose, also called Parivrtta Janusirsasana. This pose is one of the seated twisting postures in yoga. It usually begins by sitting with one leg extended forward and the other leg bent so that the foot rests against the inner thigh. From there, the torso leans sideways over the extended leg, while the spine twists so that the chest opens upward toward the sky. The opposite hand reaches for the foot of the extended leg, or holds a strap if the foot is not accessible, while the other arm lifts up and then arcs overhead, creating a side stretch and deepening the twist. Benefits of the pose: increases flexibility in the spine and waist. Stretches the hamstrings, shoulders, and side body. Helps improve breathing by opening the chest. Enhances focus and inner balance. The eye of the needle pose, Susarandrasana in Sanskrit. This is a gentle yoga pose often used to open the hips and release tension in the lower back. How to practice. Begin by lying on your back with your knees bent and feet flat on the floor. Place your right ankle over your left thigh, forming the shape of the number 4. Thread your hands through the eye of the needle, the space between your legs, and clasp behind your left thigh or shin. Gently draw the leg towards your chest while keeping your shoulders relaxed on the ground. Continue to breathe deeply, then switch sides. Benefits. This pose opens the hip joint and releases tightness in the deep muscles such as the piriformis. It relieves lower back pain caused by prolonged sitting and helps improve flexibility and relaxation. This is considered one of the classical yoga postures, mainly focusing on twisting the spine while opening the chest and stimulating the internal organs. It usually begins from a seated position on the floor, where one leg is crossed over the other while the torso twists in the opposite direction, with the back hand placed for support to help maintain an upright spine. Steps to practice. Sit on the floor with your legs extended in front of you. Bend your right knee and place your right foot outside the left thigh. You may bend the left leg and bring the foot beside the right hip, or keep it extended if that feels more comfortable. Place your right hand on the floor behind you for support. Inhale and lengthen your spine upward. As you exhale, twist your torso to the right and place your left elbow outside the right knee to deepen the twist. Gaze softly over your right shoulder, keeping the chest open and the breath deep. Stay in the pose for several breaths, then slowly return to center and repeat on the other side. Benefits of the pose. Improves spinal flexibility and relieves stiffness in the back. Stimulates digestion by massaging the internal organs. Opens the shoulders and chest, helping to improve breathing. Releases tension in the lower back and hips. Enhances focus and creates a sense of inner balance. Bound angle pose is a classic seated yoga posture used to open the hips and increase flexibility in the inner thighs. It is also called butterfly pose because of the shape of the legs when the soles of the feet are pressed together and the knees drop outward like wings. This pose is gentle and beginner-friendly, yet deeply effective for the pelvis and lower back. How to practice. Sit on the floor with your legs extended in front of you. Bend your knees and draw your feet towards your pelvis until the soles of the feet touch. Hold your feet or ankles with your hands and keep the spine tall. Allow your knees to drop naturally toward the ground without forcing them. You can bring the heels closer to the pelvis for a deeper stretch, or move them slightly forward for more comfort. Keep your back straight, shoulders relaxed, and breathe deeply. For a longer hold, you may fold forward gently while maintaining length in the spine. Benefits. Opens the hips and increases flexibility in the inner thighs. Releases tension in the lower back and pelvic area. Stimulates circulation in the abdomen and reproductive organs. Calms the mind when practiced with deep breathing. A helpful preparation for meditation and other seated postures. Camel pose is a backbend yoga posture that primarily focuses on opening the chest and lengthening the spine. It is called camel because the body's shape in the pose resembles the hump of a camel as the chest lifts and arches backward. This is considered an intermediate posture that requires preparation and flexibility in the back and thighs. How to practice. Kneel on the floor with your torso upright and thighs perpendicular to the ground. Keep your knees hip-width apart and place your hands on your lower back for support. Inhale deeply, lifting your chest and sternum upward. As you exhale, begin to lean backward slowly, keeping the thighs vertical. If comfortable, Reach your hands back to hold your heels while continuing to lift through the chest and open the shoulders. Keep your neck long, gazing upward or gently back depending on comfort. Stay in the pose for several deep breaths, then slowly return to the upright kneeling position, supporting your lower back with your hands. Benefits: opens the chest and lungs, improving breathing and increasing energy. Stretches the spine, shoulders, and front body, relieving stiffness. Strengthens the thighs and improves posture. Stimulates the heart and circulation, boosting vitality. Helps release emotional tension and promotes a sense of openness and inner ease. Safety notes: avoid the pose if you have back or neck injuries unless guided by a teacher. Do not force the body into a deep back bend, progress gradually according to your flexibility. Place a blanket or cushion under the knees for extra comfort. Half pigeon pose is a well-known yoga posture for opening the hips. It combines a deep stretch for the lower body with relaxation. The pose is called half pigeon because the body resembles a pigeon sitting when performed. How to practice: begin in downward facing dog. Bring your right knee forward and place it behind your right wrist. Position your right shin in front of you, with the foot angled comfortably toward the left wrist, closer or farther depending on flexibility. Extend your left leg straight back, keeping the thighs square to the floor. Sit upright with your chest lifted, or fold forward to deepen the stretch. Stay in the pose for several deep breaths, then switch sides. Benefits: opens the hips and releases tension in the deep muscles such as the piriformis. Relieves lower back pain caused by tightness or prolonged sitting. Stretches the thighs and knees while improving lower body flexibility. Encourages mental calmness when practiced with steady, deep breathing. Safety notes: place a cushion or folded blanket under the front hip for support if the hips or knees feel tight. Avoid the pose if you have acute knee or hip injuries. Do not force the front leg into a 90 degrees angle, keep it at a comfortable position. Plow pose is a classic inverted yoga posture that helps lengthen the spine, calm the nervous system, and improve blood circulation to the brain. It is called plow because the body shape resembles the traditional plow used in farming. How to practice: lie flat on your back with your arms alongside your body, palms pressing into the floor. Inhale and slowly lift your legs up to a 90-degree angle. Exhale as you continue lifting your hips and back off the floor, bringing your legs overhead until your toes touch, or approach, the ground behind you. Keep your chin close to your chest to protect the neck. Support your lower back with your hands if needed, or extend your arms on the floor and interlace your fingers for stability. Breathe deeply and hold the pose for several breaths, 30 seconds to 1 minute. To release, slowly roll your spine back down to the floor, one vertebra at a time. Benefits: stretches the entire spine and shoulders. Calms the nervous system and reduces stress. Stimulates the thyroid gland and improves metabolism. Enhances blood circulation to the brain, aiding focus and clarity. Relieves tension in the lower back and increases spinal flexibility. Safety tips: avoid if you have neck or spinal injuries, or high blood pressure. Not recommended during pregnancy or menstruation. Beginners should practice under the guidance of an instructor. Reclining hero pose is a deep restorative yoga posture, usually entered from Virasana, hero pose. It helps open the thighs, stretch the abdomen and chest, and relax the legs after effort. How to practice: begin in Virasana, hero pose. Kneel with your knees together and thighs parallel. Place your feet beside your hips, not underneath. Sit down between your heels, using a block or cushion under your hips if needed. Place your hands behind you on the floor and take a deep breath in. As you exhale, slowly recline backward, first onto your forearms, then all the way down onto your back if comfortable. Keep your lower back and thighs relaxed, with knees pointing toward the floor as much as possible. Rest your arms alongside your body or extend them overhead to deepen the chest opening. Breathe deeply, staying in the pose for 30 seconds to 1 minute, or longer if comfortable. To come out, press into your forearms and slowly return to a seated position. Benefits: provides a deep stretch for the thighs, hips, and ankles. Opens the abdomen and chest, supporting deeper breathing. Relieves fatigue in the legs after standing or walking. Improves knee and joint flexibility. Calms the mind and promotes relaxation. Safety tips: avoid if you have knee or lower back injuries. Use props, pillows, bolsters, or blocks for support and comfort. Do not force the body, ease into the posture gradually. Wide-legged forward bend. This standing yoga posture focuses on lengthening the spine, stretching the hamstrings and inner thighs, while also calming the mind and stimulating blood circulation to the head. How to practice: stand tall and step your feet wide apart, wider than shoulder width. Turn your toes slightly inward or keep them pointing forward. Place your hands on your hips, inhale, and extend your spine upward. As you exhale, hinge forward from the hips, not the lower back, keeping the spine long. Place your hands on the floor beneath your shoulders, or hold your ankles if you are more flexible. Let your head gently release toward the floor, relaxing the neck. Continue to breathe deeply, holding the pose for 30 seconds to 1 minute. To release, bring your hands back to your hips, inhale, and slowly rise up to standing. Benefits: stretches the hamstrings, inner thighs, and spine. Improves balance and increases hip flexibility. Calms the nervous system and reduces stress. Boosts blood flow to the brain, enhancing mental clarity. Strengthens the legs and back. Safety tips: avoid this pose if you have lower back issues or uncontrolled high blood pressure. Always hinge from the hips instead of rounding the back. Use yoga blocks under your hands for additional support. Cobra pose is a classic backbend in yoga, resembling the raised hood of a cobra. It strengthens the spine, opens the chest, and stimulates energy throughout the body. How to practice: lie flat on your stomach with your legs extended back and the tops of your feet pressing into the floor. Place your palms under your shoulders with elbows close to your body. Inhale deeply, press into your hands, and gently lift your head and chest off the ground, keeping your pelvis and legs rooted to the floor. Roll your shoulders back and down, away from your ears. Keep your elbows slightly bent if needed, depending on your flexibility. Gaze forward or slightly upward without straining the neck. Breathe deeply and hold for 15 to 30 seconds. To release, exhale and slowly lower your chest back to the mat. Benefits: strengthens the spine and back muscles. Opens the chest and lungs, improving breathing. Relieves tension in the shoulders and neck. Stimulates abdominal organs and digestion. Boosts energy and increases alertness. Safety tips: avoid if you have serious back injuries or herniated discs. Do not overextend, lift only as far as your body allows. For a gentler version, try Baby Cobra by lifting the chest only slightly. Bridge pose is a gentle backbend where the body forms an arch similar to a bridge. It helps strengthen the legs and back, open the chest, and stimulate circulation. How to practice: lie on your back with your knees bent and feet flat on the floor, hip-width apart. Place your arms alongside your body with palms pressing into the mat. Inhale deeply, press your feet into the ground, and slowly lift your hips toward the ceiling. Keep your thighs parallel and avoid letting the knees splay outward. You may keep your arms on the floor or interlace your fingers beneath your back, extending your arms for more stability. Gently lift and open your chest, drawing your shoulders closer together. Breathe deeply and hold the pose for 30 seconds to 1 minute. To release, exhale and slowly lower your spine back down to the floor, one vertebra at a time. Benefits: strengthens the legs, glutes, and back muscles. Opens the chest and improves lung capacity. Stimulates the thyroid gland and boosts circulation. Calms the mind and reduces stress and anxiety. Enhances spinal flexibility. Safety tips: avoid if you have neck or serious back injuries. Place a folded blanket under your shoulders for extra support if needed. Never hold your breath while in the pose. O pose is a balancing yoga posture where the body forms the shape of a floating boat. It primarily strengthens the core, back, and hip flexors, while also improving balance and focus. How to practice: sit on the floor with your legs extended in front of you and your spine straight. Place your hands slightly behind your hips with your fingers pointing forward for initial support. Inhale deeply, then exhale as you lift your feet off the ground, bringing your legs to about a 45-degree angle. Balance on your sitting bones, keeping the spine long and chest lifted. Extend your arms forward, parallel to the floor, with palms facing each other. Gaze toward your toes and breathe steadily. Hold the pose for 20 to 40 seconds, then release slowly with an exhale. Repeat several times to build strength and endurance. Benefits: strengthens the abdominal muscles, back, and hip flexors. Improves balance and concentration. Stimulates abdominal organs and aids digestion. Builds spinal strength and endurance. Safety tips: avoid this pose if you have neck or lower back injuries. Keep the knees slightly bent if straight legs are too challenging. Maintain a straight spine to protect the lower back. This pose is called Superman pose because the body resembles the superhero flying through the air. It is a prone back strengthening posture where both the arms and legs are lifted simultaneously, engaging the core and back muscles while improving balance. Steps to practice: lie down on your stomach with your legs extended back and arms stretched forward. Rest your forehead on the mat, keeping your neck neutral. Inhale deeply, then lift your arms, chest, and legs off the floor at the same time. Keep the arms extended forward and the legs straight and lifted. Engage your abdominal muscles, back, and glutes to support the posture. Hold the pose for 15 to 30 seconds while breathing steadily. Exhale slowly and lower your arms and legs back to the mat. Repeat 2 to 3 times as comfortable. Benefits: strengthens the upper and lower back muscles. Tones the abdominal muscles and glutes. Improves posture and balance. Relieves tension in the spine. Boosts energy and vitality. Safety tips: avoid this pose if you have back or neck injuries. Do not overlift, even a small lift provides benefits. Beginners can modify by lifting only the arms or only the legs.